So there comes a point at which spirituality and physics, particle physics, merge and they overlap in a Venn diagram fashion. When you're dealing with information about particulate, we'll say, that's just so small that we have never before had to classify it as anything, right? If I were to say, I can talk to Daniel across the computer and he's 400 miles away, even 100 years, they would have called me a witch doctor or something like that, right? So they would have already been relegating what my conversation is about, even though it's happening right here in terms of spiritism, because it's just impossible. What are you talking about? So this is where I believe the bar keeps getting moved purposefully so that conversations that really should be handled under a spiritual discernment and spiritual warfare conversation are really relegated to science. And what are you talking about? Never the two shall meet. Now, again, when you talk to Isaac Newton and half of these godfathers of modern science, they'll tell you, the point of my research was to prove God's existence. It's only in the last 150 or so years that they've flipped that, Rockefellers, thank you for that, into saying, no, God, y'all people over there, science, y'all people over there. We're about to Hegelian dialect y'all so that we pit y'all against one another, so that we make y'all think that these people are idiots and y'all make that these people are a bunch of heathen atheists that don't know nothing. And then separately, we're going to market y'all in a separate way. Go to church, take the Apocrypha out. Don't talk about demons. Don't talk about none of that stuff. We don't want people to actually make this connection. Here, don't go to church. Don't become Christian. Don't even consider that God's a thing. In fact, break apart the particles of time and space so that the demons can actually get in. But you don't believe in demons, remember? So that's not a thing. It's just sentient gluons, we'll call it, or antimatter. And so they've separated the conversation on purpose. So when you hear CERN and you think spiritual, it's like, what? But again, they put the statue in their own courtyard of Shiva, the destroyer, the Hindu god Shiva, / the Greek, or I think Apollyon is the Greek one. Abaddon is the Hebrew name for it. Same thing. It's a devil. It's one of the devils that came with the fallen ones. I didn't go and suggest to the CERN design committee that they should erect a statue of this devil. They did that. So I take note of that. And I have just come to learn that what CERN is doing, in a nutshell, is they are aiming to break apart the flow of how things enter and exit this particular world and planet.